Today on Deep Tracks, we will be talking about the great Seattle band Alice in Chains. Now, Alice in Chains was obviously a huge band in the 1990s, and I really don't think they got the credit they deserve on just how much they helped change the face of music from the hair bands of the 1980s to the grunge bands of the 1990s. Their debut album Facelift and the smash hit single Man in the Box were really the start of the grunge movement. Facelift came out months before Nirvana's Nevermind, and bands like Alice in Chains and Soundgarden preceded Nirvana and Pearl Jam and helped set the tone for the change in music. Maybe it's because they were ahead of the curve, or more accurately, they helped set the curve that they didn't get as much recognition today as they should have. Either way, let's get into this. So, Alice in Chains was fronted by the great singer Lane Staley, who tragically died too young of a drug overdose in 2002. The band also lost bassist Mike Starr to drugs in 2011, and in 2009 they did reform with a new singer, William Duvall, and continued to put out new music and tour. William is a great singer and a great fit for the band, though I do wish maybe they didn't continue to use the Alice in Chains name to honor Lane and Mike, but that's just my point of view. The new Alice in Chains does make great music. And speaking of which, we will be dividing this into two videos. This video will cover the Lane Staley years only, and a second video will cover the new Alice in Chains with William Duvall on vocals. So, okay, let's get to it. Here is our essential Alice in Chains songs. Good size list here. Alice in Chains has a lot of big hit songs like Man in the Box, Rooster, I Stay Away, and many others. They also have minor hits like their first single, We Die Young, Grind, Again, and Down in a Hole is a very underrated song. Look over the list. If you don't recognize a song, be sure to add it to your playlist and give it a listen. These are all pretty classic rock and roll songs. With this list in mind, I'm going to give you 9 more deep tracks by Alice in Chains you should be listening to right now. And we start our list with song number 1. Nutshell is one of those in-between songs that could very easily be on the essentials list, but it really wasn't a single, so I really don't know how many people know of it. It does get some airplay now, but regardless, the song is amazing. It is featured on the Jar of Flies EP and is on the slower side of Alice in Chains, the side I appreciate more, and it's just a really great tune. Something to note, Alice in Chains did do an MTV Unplugged and did release it as an album. While I recommend you check it out separately, our deep tracks cover the studio versions of the song, but the Nutshell Unplugged is something you should watch for sure. So, Nutshell is our first deep track by Alice in Chains, and we move on to song number 2. Sea of Sorrow is off Alice in Chains' debut album Facelift. It follows Man in the Box on the album and is a bit slower of a song than Man in the Box, and let's be honest, if you are following Man in the Box, you're going to be overlooked. But Sea of Sorrow is a really good rock and roll song with a good hook and chorus. Check it out, and we will add Sea of Sorrow to our Deep Tracks playlist and move on to song number 3. Deep track number 3 for Alice in Chains is the title track off their breakthrough album Dirt. I like the song Dirt for a lot of reasons, but the guitar beat and the trippiness vibe of this track is pretty cool. The track is sandwiched in the middle of the album between some filler songs, which may be why it's overlooked, but Dirt is a great track. Let's add it to our Deep Tracks playlist, and we move on to song number 4. Back to the EP Jar of Flies for deep track number 4. Again, a softer, bluesier song in Rotten Apple. Rotten Apple is in the same vein of I Stay Away and Nutshell. It was also featured in the MTV Unplugged, and I recommend you checking out both versions of the song. Jerry's guitar is great on the song, and Lane's vocals are haunting. So let's add Rotten Apple to our Deep Tracks playlist, and it's time for song number 5. I have to admit that I slept on this next track. It comes off a compilation album that I must have totally missed. The track is called Died. It is featured on the box set called Music Bank, which varies in unreleased demos, hit singles, and 3 previously unreleased songs, Died being one of those songs, and it is the last song on the 3-disc set. Died Hauntingly was the final recording by Lane Staley. It has a good beat and some great lyrics. The song is about Lane's long-term girlfriend who died of a drug overdose. So let's add Died to our deep track playlist and move on to song number 6. Okay, another confession. I recently started getting back into Alice in Chains and have gone through their catalog for this video. And in the 90s, I owned Facelift, but listened to Man in the Box and maybe Sea of Sorrow, and that was about it. So in listening to Facelift again, I found It Ain't Like That, and I cannot say enough good things about this song. It has a crushing beat and a cool hook, and is one of my favorite Alice in Chains songs now, and I highly recommend you checking it out. So let's add It Ain't Like That to song number 6 on our list, and we move on to song number 7. Back over to Dirt for song number 7, Rain When I Die. Back in the 90s, this was one of my favorite songs off of Dirt. Rain When I Die is grungy, it's got great vocals by Lane, and just a cool song all around. It clocks in at just over 6 minutes and proceeds down in a hole on the album. It's a great 1-2 punch from Rain When I Die to Down in a Hole. So Rain When I Die gets added to our deep tracks playlist, and we go on to song number 8. Back over to the music bank, and also from the highly underrated movie The Last Action Hero starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. If you haven't checked it out and like campy 90s action movies, be sure to give it a watch. Anyway, from the soundtrack is a song called A Little Bitter. A Little Bitter is a good song. I like the chorus and the guitar in the song. There's really not much else to say about it, but give it a listen, and we will add A Little Bitter to our deep tracks playlist. And with that, we only have one more song. Sticking with Music Bank for our final track, it's the first song on the first disc, and it's called Get Born Again. This song was also featured in the box set Nothing Safe, The Best of the Box, and it also was one of the final songs recorded by Lane just before he died. It was a moderate hit and it was overlooked, but give it a listen, and Get Born Again will round out our Alice in Chains Deep Tracks playlist. So, there you have it, our 9 deep tracks by Alice in Chains you should be checking out now. And as usual, we will combine our 2 lists together to make our Alice in Chains Deep Tracks Ultimate Playlist. Be sure to comment below on how you think our list looks and any other songs we should have considered for our Deep Tracks playlist. And as always, please drop us a like and a subscribe and hit that bell so you can be alerted of new Deep Tracks videos. But for now, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep on rocking.